every morning with drive. Being on the grind, know I had to survive. We had to win. Started from the dirt and the rubble. I had to be the needle that was popping your bubble.
Hello and welcome into the Rookie Prospect Profile Series. This is a Zilla Fantasy Elite production. Today we're going to be looking at running back Will Shipley in both the RStudio model and the neural network model for running backs. Will Shipley was drafted number 127 overall in the 4th round, and he was drafted by the Philadelphia Eagles. Looking at some of their physical traits, we can see they come in at 5'11", 206 pounds, giving us a BMI of 28.7. They didn't run any 40-yard dash in the combine, so we had to put in a number for him. We used 4.56 as a placeholder for Will Shipley, and that gave us a speed score of 95.3. Putting these physical traits along with some of their college numbers into the RStudio model, we get a prospect score of 12.913, which is ranked 167th overall out of the 327 running backs that are in the RStudio model's database. That is in the 48th percentile at 48.9%. Looking at the closest comparables, who is in that range in terms of the RStudio model? Well, the closest comp or the exact same rank, should we put him in there, would be Justice Hill. The next best above him, closest, is Tariq Cohen, then Chase Edmonds, Devin Singletary, Zach Stacy, and DJ Dallas. Again, not the super inspiring people here. Next worst from there, Naheem Hines, then Daniel Thomas, Ty Chandler, Cedric Pierman, and Josh Jacobs is 5 worse than him. It's kind of based on the height and weight aspects. I would say Chase Edmonds is probably the best in terms of size combination and who was sitting in this range and kind of their college dominator rating coming into the league. I would say those are probably the most comparable is Chase Edmonds there. All right, let's switch now to the machine learning model and see what it thinks about Will Shipley. And unfortunately, we see he comes in with some pretty low ranks across the board there. We do have 31 running backs that we're assessing in the 2024 class, and you can see him hovering in between 21st to 28th in this class. So the neural network model does not like this profile at all. We did see the RStudio model not really give us a ton of good names. We saw Josh Jacobs in there, but really a bunch of people that just, maybe had some talent or some sort of background wind to their sails hype that just never ended up turning out to be all that good. Will Shipley at 5.3 for his minimum is actually his best rank across all of these particular areas. So saying if this guy gets 80 opportunities, the worst he's going to perform is 5.3 fantasy points per game. Then getting in the mean and median, he's ranked 25th for those at 9.17 and 9.18. So we see even an average outcome, he's not cresting double-digit fantasy points. And then his maximum output only at 12.66. We certainly saw some other people have a higher mean and median than this in the class. So not very good at 12.66 there. Let's go look into those historical comps and see who was hovering around those, 9, looking at the mean and median, 9.17, just above 9. Who was doing that as their career best in the NFL? We actually have quite a few people that are in between 9 and 9.11 fantasy points per game. I'll give you all of those names. It's Wendell Smallwood, Orleans Darkwa, Devontae Booker, Tajay Spears, Dontrell Hilliard, Kenneth Dixon, Jonas Gray, Christine Michael, Andre Williams, and Wayne Gallman. Again, this does get updated every single year, so people like Tajay Spears are probably going to beat this 9.09 aspect, actually with 9.05 fantasy points per game in their rookie season. Those will get updated, and then the model will accordingly adjust for the 2025 class on that. But that's why you see Tajay Spears in there at the moment. Even though he was a rookie last year, those will get updated. But those are the kind of players that we're looking at in between 9 and 9.11. Just above that, Khalil Herbert, 9.38. Peyton Barber and Jaquiz Rogers at 9.4. And then a little bit below that, we have Royce Freeman, Samaje Perine, and Kyrie Robinson all in that range. And again, with his side speed combo here, you're probably looking at somewhere close to that Wendell Smallwood. He was 5'10", 208. Really not a super great profile here for Mr. Will Shipley from the looks of it, at least in the median range. Let's go look at that maximum output. It was pretty low. We see it there at 12.66. Who is hitting that for their career best? We have all these guys in between 12.42 and 12.8 fantasy points per game as their career best. We have Jerome Ford, I'm sure that was last year, Ben Jarvis, Green Ellis, Jonathan Stewart, Jonathan Grimes, Rashad Jennings, Matt Asiata, Ronnie Hillman, Isaiah Crowell, Damian Williams, and Damian Pierce. Don't have a ton of real good comps there, as everyone in this range is a little bit bigger than Will Shipley, other than maybe Jonathan Grimes there. Probably the closest comparable that we got in the model. And you might be thinking, wow, how did he score 12.5? Again, this is anybody that got 80 opportunities in a season, and what they did with those opportunities, maybe scored a few touchdowns on very limited opportunities. Wasn't fantasy viable, but he did finish with a 12.5 fantasy point per game in that season. So that is going to do it for this episode on the rookie prospect profile for Mr. Will Shipley. Hopefully the RStudio model and the machine learning model give you a little bit of additional confidence going into your drafts and who you need to select in those particular opportunities. The show is presented by Zilla Fantasy Elite. Thanks for tuning in. Bye.